Anyone who has seen Fiddler on the Roof remembers the Matchmaker, Matchmaker, Make Me a Match song. Well, today there's a different kind of connotation as singles continue to look for love and companionship and are turning to computers and online dating sites in order to find that match. But our next guest does it a little bit differently, certainly providing personal service to help singles of all ages find their perfect match. Susan Dunhoff calls herself the modern-day matchmaker. She's been helping singles find love for more than 18 years out of her Squirrel Hill office. Susan, it is great to have you here. Welcome.
Oh, likewise. Thank you.
So glad that you're here. As
Likewise.
we have a chance to talk about, we see in the Super Bowl these ads for these dating services. We see anytime you sit down and watch HGTV or you watch NBC, CBS, ABC, it's everywhere. And yet you are doing this with a much different personal touch. Interviewing people, sitting down with them, getting a sense for who they are and what they're all about. Is that where it starts?
Yes, that's exactly where it starts. Actually, people look at us as specialists because our clients are very selective and they want what they want. They don't want to settle. A lot of busy professionals, they don't have time to find their soulmate. And, you know, everything is better when you're in a relationship. So, and they don't know where to go. They don't have the time. It becomes a job, a chore to them. So they turn to people like us. And the key thing that makes us different is that we really know our clients. So we only match you with compatible people so you don't waste your time.
So how do you start? Does it begin with a face-to-face meeting, I presume?
Yes. The first and most important step is the private consultation. And that's where I literally sit down with the client and we sit down for 1.5 to 2 hours, whatever we need, and we go through a confidential profile where I learn a lot about them and ideally the type of dating situation that they're looking for. You know, we take everything into consideration. Short-term goals, long-term goals, just everything. We cover everything. So I really get on their wavelength pretty quickly. That's my job. I have to know where they're coming from, what they want in order to match them properly.
Right.
So once we do the consult, I show them some typical clients. So they're comfortable with the level of clientele, the process, etc. And then we discuss the different membership levels. We have 3. We have the signature, the concierge, and the premier.
And what's the difference between those 3?
Well, there's quite a few differences. The signature level encompasses all of my private clients in the greater Pittsburgh and surrounding area. Okay, that's the signature. Now, the only difference in the concierge level is where we also are networked across the country if some clients also want to date out of state. You know, some clients travel regularly for business and they also prefer to be matched in different places. It just depends. Everyone's lifestyle is different and everything's customized.
So it just widens the scope then of what you're looking at.
Correct. But most of our clients prefer the local people. Now, the premier level it's not as popular, and it's for a very, very atypical need, usually, or someone who just wants what they want now.
Right.
And that's where we go out and we do a private search from scratch, in addition to the other 2 levels.
Oftentimes we think about dating as high school kids are dating for the first time.
Right.
Or in college you start dating someone,
Right.
perhaps you'll marry that person. But there are different situations. Maybe someone's widowed, maybe someone's a widower. They're 55, they're 60, and they're saying, boy, I feel lonely, I'd like to. How do you deal with those sorts of difficult situations?
Yes, and like I said, everything is customized, and that does happen. In fact, one of my clients in particular, a story comes to mind. She was in her 50s, and unfortunately her husband cheated on her, and she was really feeling...
So divorcees are the same sort of situation?
Yes,
right.
yes, absolutely. And she was really feeling very down about herself. You know, she had lost a lot of self-esteem. And she says, my God, I haven't dated since I was, you know, a kid, and I married my high school sweetheart. What do I do? I have a date set up now. What do I do? And I says, well, all you really need to do, I said, it hasn't changed. You just go on the date, but don't even look at it as a date. Just enjoy the company of the person sitting across from you and think of it as a new beginning. So she called me 8 a.m. the next morning, and she was just so thrilled. She said, he asked me out again. So
right.
And I think that sometimes it wasn't hard at all.
When you're dating, if you think of it maybe as a business luncheon, perhaps, that we're just going along, we're trying to get along, is that, or does it need to be different?
You just want to be casual. A first date is not when you talk about, you know, how bad your kids are or how your spouse treated you, like, you know, whatever. And, you know, and nobody wants to hear that. And the past is the past. It doesn't really matter.
Right. So you want to talk about the new relationship rather than old relationships.
Just try to get to know the person, their interests. Just keep it casual. Right. So you develop a comfortable level. Now, usually, almost everyone is more relaxed on a second date. Right. Because that's just how it is. Right. You know, they already know, they have the confidence that they were asked out again. So they're a little bit more themselves. They might be a little more humorous.
Talking about some of the dynamics of relationships and dating with Susan Dunhoff. Thank you very much for being here.
A pleasure.
Wonderful to have you, a modern-day matchmaker. Her business is based in Squirrel Hill. If you'd like to know more about it, more about the practice, she has a website set up, and we've linked it directly at kdka.com/PTL.